Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. Today's session is on the first 3 months of a wife visiting her husband in a dementia facility. And for this rendition again, it's Winifred the wife visiting Doug. And he's an 83-year-old man now. Alzheimer's, he's got Alzheimer's and a few other physical problems, but terrible memory. That's why he had to be admitted. Anyway, the first month has gone quite well, thankfully. He's settled in, he likes the food, it's warm, he's made a friend with the man next door. You're visiting regularly, Tuesday and Thursday for bingo and the movies, and you take him for a walk, bigger walk in the village on a Saturday. And your friend Anne supports and comes and visits once a week as well. So it's all ticking along. And the aggression that you were so fearing that he might have, because you knew that men with, dementia could get aggressive. And at home, Doug was getting a bit, not aggressive, but sort of semi-aggro. You could see the frustration building anyway, when he was at home. Anyway, for the first 3 weeks, first month even, he was okay. But going into the second month, you noticed that the tension was building. He wasn't shouting or even criticizing, but you could see it in his face. It had become more rigid, clenched jaw, tight features, and he was no warmth. So that when I came and visited him, I wasn't able to cajole him or bring him out of himself. He'd just, he'd maybe mutter something and just say nothing after that. So I knew that things weren't right. And, this was really the first sort of barrier that we had to work through. I mean, even when I explained to him about being in the dementia facility, he was okay. And I was dreading that. So this was now something new that we had to negotiate. So I was just sort of trying to think what it might be. And I talked to my friend Anne about it. She'd worked in hospitals with dementia patients before. And we wondered whether it might be that he wasn't getting the big walks out at the beach, which we used to do once a week on a Saturday, actually. And, towards the end, it had become a bit sort of dicey. I mean, his balance isn't fabulous. And I was wondering whether I could still manage it on my own, even when I was at home towards the last, 6 months or so when he was at home. But we did go every week, and he loved the sea. He'd been a surfer when he was younger and a surf lifesaver, and always loved walking along the beach. And the beach was his life, really. I mean, he wanted to have a beach by Sumner, by the ocean, if we could have afforded it. But it's too expensive there. But anyway, he loves the sea, and it always winds him down. So I thought maybe it might be this. So when I went in, I said to him, I didn't go into explanation. I just said to him, is it not being able to get to the beach? And he said, yes. That was it. And I said, okay, Doug, what we're going to do, I can see that, you're missing the beach and the beach walks. I know you love the sea, and I do too. And I just felt towards the end when we were going there that I couldn't quite manage on my own. I was a bit concerned with your balance. But Anne has said, our good friend, she's pretty strong and fit for an 82-year-old, she has said that she will come with me. We'll both take you to the Sumner Beach on a Saturday. I could just see the smile coming back, the warmth in the face. He knew that when I said something, I always did it. I was really reliable with that. I'd never fob him off or say I'd do something and not do it. So he knew that it was going to happen. I'm committed in that way, and he's the same with me too. So we've had a good relationship in that sense. So that's what we did. Each Saturday, Annie and I would go to the unit. Annie would drive off, and she's a good driver. That was a help. Quite a trip to Sumner from the dementia unit, but that was all right. Go in the car, half an hour drive there, and have a lovely, big, beautiful walk along the beach. I mean, at this time now it was getting, summer, so we'd go like 10:30, 11 when it wasn't too hot to avoid the midday sun, and we'd have a lovely, beautiful walk along the beach on the actual sand. I mean, he could actually manage that. I was concerned because I know that I've read that people in dementia facilities, because they're only walking on the flat all day, you know, there's no steps and stairs, they lose the balance for gradients, so it becomes difficult taking them out. But I think because this dementia facility has a really nice outside area that Doug walks in all day, basically, similar to the garden out that we have at home. And you know, there's a bit of gradient walking on the grass, and the dirt sort of crumbles around here and there. So he was sort of using his balance a bit at home, of course, and at the dementia facility, walking outside, paving stones and, you know, grass. And he used to step into the garden every now and then and smell the rose or do a bit of weeding, which he wasn't meant to do, and all the rest of it. So that helped his balance. So when we took him to the beach, he was actually quite good. Me on one side and on the other, just in case, you know, he did trip or something. Because I didn't want him tripping, did I? Imagine that. No, that would really put a thorn in the spanner, or spanner in the works. That's a spanner in the works. And we didn't want that when things were going so well. So yeah, every Saturday we'd pick him up. Two of us would take him to Sumner Beach. We'd walk along the sand on the hot, you know, every day, every Saturday, no matter what the weather. Even if it was cold, jacket, hat, whatever needed. Was summer then, didn't need it then, but if it was a cool day, light jacket. And we both loved it. All the three of us loved it. And then we'd there's a nice beach cafe there on the you know, shore frontage, stunning view. And we'd sit on the balcony under the umbrella, have a cappuccino and, you know, our favourite pizza, you know, which we'd done actually for many years. We'd loved going there for a pizza. And Doug, of course, loves eating, and he seems to be able to eat a lot and not put on a lot of weight. I don't know quite how he does that, but anyway, he eats most of the pizza, big pizzas. And I wasn't sure on taking him back the first time after the walk out to Sumner, outside the whole village scenario, whether I'd be able to get him back in, because I know some relatives have a lot of trouble getting the men back into the unit. But he just went back in, just no trouble, no problem. So I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to bring it up when there was nothing to bring up. Create a problem out of nothing, so to speak. He just walked back in. And then Anne went after that. She had something on, and I'd just stay after that because I felt that was fair. You know, he'd had a lovely trip out together. We had a lovely trip out together, and I felt coming back, I just would stay for half an hour or so, just to keep him company, get a cup of tea from the kitchen if we'd missed afternoon tea time, and, you know, make sure he was settled. If there was anything he wanted or needed, if he needed help with anything, there's always something to help with. And, you know, so then when I left, he was settled and happy, and it was good. It was really good. I mean, you could see pretty much immediately after that, though, with those walks at the beach, all that mental and muscle tension, you could just see it. The first walk even, you could just see it fading. He was so happy to be at the beach. And we just regularly did that. So that was, you know, many months we did that. And it was our regular schedule, and it was delightful, and everyone enjoyed it. And I so felt for those men in the unit who didn't get out like Doug did. I mean, so many there. I don't know if their families had abandoned them, or whether they were frightened of them or estranged, I don't know, but there were a number of men there that they didn't have visitors, and they couldn't get out, you know, because the staff didn't have time to take them out. And I mean, they walked a bit in the garden, not as much as Doug, but they were just so frustrated. Yeah, I mean, it was very hard on the staff and hard on the residents too, especially when they sort of started shouting and screaming, and big, strong men shouting and screaming. No one wants that. It was, you know. Anyway, Anne and I wondered whether there was something we could do about that, but we weren't sure. Anyway, Doug was okay for now, step by step, day by day, you know, taking things one step at a time. So the big thing was that Doug was okay, we were okay. My energy was picking up a bit now because, you know, after those 8 years, I was a bit worn down, but I was picking up, so all was well. So thank you for your likes, subscriptions, comments, and support. I appreciate